Hello everyone, welcome to Consultaire and InterningIQ.com to conduct a document review utilizing Allergen Management Program under the SQF Module 2.8.1. First, check if the document title matches the uploaded file name on the dashboard. In this instance, we both have the same titles as the Allergen Management Program. Next, both must have the same document code. For this example, we do have 2.8.1. And since this is a template, we indicate the PCQI as the account initials. However, we can customize the code based on the company's initials. For the page number, we use the page X of Y format, ensure that it reflects the current page position and the total page number of the document. Then, you may insert the company logo here together with the company name and company address, and also enter the designated department. For the originated by section, it can be the food safety, quality assurance, or the quality control personnel of the company. The originator ensures the implementation of the quality management and document control system. Enter the name of the originator, affix the signature, position title, and the date originated. Next, for the reviewed by section, it can be the personnel assigned in the quality management department who reviews the drafted document or its revision for accuracy and implementation. Again, enter the name of the reviewer, affix the signature, position title, and the date reviewed. For the approved by section, it must be the person in the C-level management who has the approval authority. Enter the name of the approver, affix the signature, position title, and the date approved. For the revision date, the revision date is the same date originated or drafted by the author. Next, effective date. The effective date, it is the date the document was signed and approved. The publication date is when the document is published or distribution and initiated personnel training. The implementation date is when the document is distributed and personnel training is completed. For the supersedes, put original for the initial issuance of the document, and for any revision, reflect the initial revision date before the current revision. And please be reminded that this section must be properly filled out to be compliant. Now we will focus on the components of the program. First, we have its purpose. The purpose is the implementation of any certification standard or compliance with a regulatory requirement. And for this program, it is for the implementation with the SQF Module 2 Edition 9 for food manufacturing under Clause 2.8.1. Under this purpose, we have here is to implement SQF 2.8.1.1. The responsibility and methods used to control allergens and to prevent sources of allergens from contaminating product shall be documented and implemented. The allergen management program shall include 1. A risk analysis of those raw materials, ingredients, and processing aids, including food-grade lubricants that contain food allergens. Second, an assessment of workplace-related food allergens that may originate from locker rooms, vending machines, lunchrooms, and visitors. Third, a list of allergens that is applicable in the country of manufacture and the countries of destination, if known. 4. A list of allergens that is accessible to relevant staff. 5. The control of hazards associated with allergens and incorporated to the food safety plan. And 6. Management plans for control of the identified allergens. Next, implement SQF 2.8.1.2. Instructions shall be provided to all relevant staff involved in the receipt or handling of raw materials, work in progress, rework, or finished product on how to identify, handle, store, and segregate raw materials and products containing allergens. Next, implement SQF 2.8.1.3. Provision shall be made to clearly identify and segregate food that contains allergens. Segregation procedure shall be implemented and continually monitored. To implement SQF 2.8.1.4, where allergenic material may be intentionally or unintentionally present, cleaning and sanitation of product contact surfaces between line changeover shall be effective, appropriate to the risk of legal requirements, and sufficient to remove all potential target allergens from product contact surfaces, including aerosols as appropriate. To prevent cross-contact, Separate handling and production equipment shall be provided where satisfactory line, hygiene, and cleanup or segregation are not possible. Next, implement SQF 2.8.1.5 based on risk assessment, procedures for validation and verification of the effectiveness of the cleaning and sanitation of areas and equipment in which allergens are used shall be documented and effectively implemented. Next, implement SQF 2.8.1.6 where allergenic material may be present. Product changeover procedures shall be documented and implemented to eliminate the risk of cross-contact. To implement SQF 2.8.1.7, the product identification system shall make provision for clear identification and labeling in accordance with the regulatory requirements of those products, produced or production lines and equipment on which food containing allergens are manufactured. Next, implement SQF 2.8.1.8. The product trace system shall take into consideration the condition under which allergen-containing foods are manufactured and ensure full traceback of all ingredients and processing aids used. Next, implement SQF 2.8.1.9. The site shall document and implement methods to control the accuracy of finished product labels or consumers' information where applicable, and assure work in progress and finished products are true to label with regards to allergens. Measures may include label approvals at receipt, label reconciliation during production, destruction of obsolete labels, verification of labels on finished product as appropriate, and product changeover procedures. Next, implement SQF 2.8.1.10. Reworking of product containing food allergens shall be conducted under conditions that ensure product safety and integrity are maintained. Reworked product containing allergens shall be clearly identified and traceable. Next, implement SQF 2.8.1.11. Sites shall do not handle allergenic materials or produce allergenic products, shall document it, implement, and maintain an allergen management program addressing at a minimum mitigation of introduced or unintended allergens through supplier, contact manufacturer, site personnel, and visitor activities. Second, we have the scope. Scope of the program is based on the purpose and serve as a guide in defining and describing the layout of the procedure. And under the scope, we have the definition, methods, segregation of allergenic foods or ingredients during receiving, storage, handling, and processing, supplier control programs for ingredients and labels, prevention of cross-contact during processing, product label review and label packaging usage and control, validated allergen cleaning program, and staff training and education. Third, we have is the policy. The policies are the rules set by the company as their implementation guide. And we have here a management plan is initiated for all identified allergen risks. Dependent on the risk, this includes process, cleaning, and sanitation, validation of sanitation, ingredient of product segregation, rework control, and product scheduling. Next, the allergen status of incoming materials and ingredients are established and procedures are in place to isolate and control materials and products containing allergens. The product trace system includes the condition under which allergen-containing foods are manufactured and ensure full traceback of ingredient and processing aids. All employees are made aware of the presence and risk of allergen contamination and receive instruction in their role in managing allergens and in particular cross-contact allergens. Next, all finished product is true to label concerning allergens. This includes ensuring labels meet the allergen labeling regulation in the country of manufacture and the country of the destination, and that product changeover procedures are controlled and supervised to ensure that the correct product is on the correct label. Labeling of products for the presence of allergenic food identifies all food that intentionally contain the particular food or ingredients derived from that food, the use of precautionary allergen statement, which rate in warning from, may contain, and process in a facility or to made on shared equipment are applied. The allergen management program is implemented audited, enforced, and updated continually. Every time there is a change in the process of a product, the plant assesses the plan and updated it's needed. Every time a new employee is onboarded or changes the responsibility of an employee, it is ensured that they understand their role in the allergen management program through documented training. Every time the plant is working with a new supplier, their allergen control plan is evaluated and changed as needed. A new allergen control plan, allergen management program is developed whenever there is a change in the production facility location or layout. Label approval processes are in place for new products or changes to current products. Fourth, we have is the procedure. The procedure is a step-by-step process and the actual implementation of the policy. And we have here the definition. The definition and interpretations of term in the procedure apply to such terms when used in this part. The following definition also apply when allergen cross-contact means unintentional incorporation of food allergen into a food. Food allergen means a major food allergen as defined in Section 201 of the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act. Food allergies affect a small but growing proportion of the population. They are the most in the children, although some can be lifelong and can be cause mild to severe and sometimes life-threatening reactions. Most food allergens are proteins and are not denatured in the food manufacturing process. Their recognition, management, and communication to the consumer are therefore extremely important and often required by legislation. Allergens in food can be intentional. Examples: nuts in nuts-based products, milk in milk-based products, or as a result of cross-contact, which is the term used when residue or trace amount of an allergenic ingredient is unintentionally added to a food product. This can happen due to ingredient mixing, line changeovers, or insufficient cleaning and sanitation procedures. Some sites have high exposure to allergens that are integral part of this product. Examples are peanuts in nut confectionery products, but other sites may have exposure to cross-contact or unintentional allergens. Examples: allergens that are not part of the ingredients. Other sites may have little or no allergen exposure, but still conduct a risk assessment to ensure there is no unintentional allergen exposures. Sites are familiar with the regulated allergens that apply in the country of manufacture and the country of destination if it's known. Regulated allergens differ from country to country, and the product labeled for sale in other countries meet the allergen labeling regulation in that country. Irrespective of its inclusion in the regulations, gluten is included in the site's allergen program. Sites are also aware of the need to correctly label products containing allergens as per regulations. Incorrect labeling is one of the major causes of recall in many countries and can be caused by poor product changeover procedures as well as incorrect label information. While more than 160 food can cause allergic reactions in people with food allergies, the law identifies the 8 most common allergenic food. These food account for 90% of food allergic reactions and are the food sources from which many other ingredients are derived. The 8 foods identified by the laws are: the first one we have is milk, second is eggs, fish, crustacean shellfish, tree nuts, peanuts, wheat, and soybeans. Next we have is the methods. The responsibility and method used to control allergens and to prevent sources of allergens from contaminating products are documented and implemented. The allergen management program includes a risk analysis of those raw materials, ingredients, and processing aids including food-grade lubricants that contain food allergens, an assessment of workplace-related food allergens from locker rooms, vending machines, lunchrooms, and visitors. A register of allergens is applicable in the country of manufacture and the country of destination if known. A list of allergens is accessible by relevant staff. The hazards associated with allergens and their control are incorporated into food safety plan, a management plan for control of identified allergens, The allergen management program includes the identification management and labeling of product containing gluten, where applicable, identify. Conduct a risk assessment to determine the choice of specific allergen management procedures. Develop an allergen process flow diagram or allergen map to understand where allergenic ingredients and food exist in the plant and where they are introduced into the process. Next, develop an allergen control plan specific to each processing area. Review the allergen control plan regularly and update when necessary. When new ingredients are added, when processes or protocols are changed, or when the new product or equipment are introduced into the plant. Segregation of allergenic foods or ingredients during receiving, storage, handling, and processing. An effective allergen control plan depends on keeping allergenic foods and ingredients separate from all products and ingredients from the time they enter the facility until they are introduced into the production line and beyond. Every attempt is made to visibly identify allergens and isolate them at every step from other foods, ingredients, and equipment. Next, we have the receiving. Review the labels of incoming raw materials for the appropriate allergen information or any changes. Tag each case, pallet, bag, etc. as appropriate for raw materials to ensure the allergen is called out as the materials are stored and used in the facility. Handle appropriately and damage containers of allergens to minimize cross-contact at the receipt. Next we have is the storage. Store allergenic ingredients or products separately to prevent cross-contact. Protocols include using clean and closed containers, designating separate storage areas for allergenic or non-allergenic ingredients and/or products. When segregated storage is not possible, use other methods such as non-storing allergens over non-allergens, storing like allergens, milk and whey together, etc. Using and documenting cleanup procedures for spills or damaged containers of allergens, using dedicated pallets and bins, using designated staging areas for allergenic foods and ingredients, identify allergenic ingredients by using the allergen tag, and isolate allergens from non-allergenic ingredients products in storage, double protective covering, bag inside of a box packaging, or double bagging when storing. Supplier control programs for ingredients and labels. What comes into the facility from suppliers has an equally important impact on the quality and integrity of food processing protocols and ultimately the legal exposure as well. Allergen control plan outlines expectation, documentation, and validation to ensure suppliers are diligent and equally as dedicated to controlling and managing allergens. Require ingredient suppliers to have a documented allergen control plan. Require letters from suppliers that guarantee the ingredients purchased do not contain undeclared allergens. Required suppliers to notify the company of any changes to the allergen status of the ingredients they supply before any changes. Audit suppliers regularly to assess the effectiveness of the allergen control plan. Require suppliers to have sanitation cleaning procedures in the place which are validated regularly and whenever there is a chance that may affect the allergen status of the line. Example, new or changed product, ingredient, equipment, and etc. Conduct a supplier survey which includes the following: the allergen control plan of the supplier, the range of allergenic product produced by the supplier, especially on shared equipment with the ingredients, the supplier allergen cleaning program and protocols, allergen training records for suppliers' employees, ensure allergenic ingredients are shipped in marked, sealed containers and the containers are not damaged or broken. Next we have is label review and label packaging usage and control. The only way consumers know of potential allergens in the product is to read the label or packaging. Proper packaging label not only help protect the consumer but protect the company from costly recalls, regulatory scrutiny, and potential liability. Ensure packaged foods regulated under the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act comply with the Food Allergen Labeling and Consumer Protection Act of 2004 for these requirements. Visit www.cfsan.fda.gov-dms- allergact.html. For USDA, visit https://www.fsis.usda.gov. It is important to know companies cannot arbitrarily add may contain or other precautionary labeling because, in 1996, FDA advised that because adhering to good manufacturing practice is essential for effective reduction or adverse reactions, precautionary labeling should not be used instead of adherence to GMP. Ensure packaged foods regulated under the Federal Meat and Poultry Act comply with the Food Allergen Labeling and Consumer Protection Act of 2004. Additionally, USDA requires that the meat and poultry plants reassesses their HACCP plans and prerequisite program to address allergens. Next, to ensure label approval process are in place for new products or changes to current products. Next, review incoming labels before receipt for accuracy. Ensure product specification and formulation changes are immediately reflected on labels. Consider approaches to highly newly introduced allergen components. Monitor, document, and verify the correct label at all changeovers as they occur. Discard all out-of-date labels or packaging on time. Implement proper inventory control procedures for packaging materials. Implement proper packaging staging control procedures. Train line personnel on techniques for ensuring product labels are switched appropriately at product changeover on the production line. Validated allergen cleaning program. It doesn't matter what is the cause, leftover ingredient in a hard-to-reach corner of the processing line, a half-hearted cleaning effort due to employee fatigue, or a looming product deadline, any allergen residue not adequately cleaned and removed from the processing line can find its way into the next production line, causing next product to inadvertently contain an allergen not included on the label, and that can have grave consequences. It is a matter of process design and protocol documentation and thorough validation of cleaning procedures and allergen control plan needs to account for it all. Overall plant design. Construct processing equipment and overall plant structure with good sanitary features including ease of cleaning and sanitizing, no dead spot that allow accumulation of food or ingredient, no hollow rollers, no holes in welds, equipment that drains, etc. Accessibility of equipment for visual inspections, sanitation standard operating procedures, protocols will be written and easy to follow and understand. Define the scope of the cleaning procedures, range of application, equipment, products, and etc. Define who is responsible for cleaning operations. Include detailed cleaning instructions. Documented training should occur on a regular frequency. Cleaning validation procedures. Protocols will be written and easy to follow and understand. Define the intention and scope of validation. Describe the sampling procedures and the reasons for conducting item. Define and describe the analytic procedures to be used. Define the final acceptance validation criteria. Ensure all associated product is held pending test results. Validation is conducted at least annually or whenever a new allergen is introduced in the product and is conducted by a third-party laboratory. Cleaning verifications procedures. Protocols will be written and easy to follow and understand. Define the intention and scope of verification procedures. Describe the sampling procedures and the reason for conducting them. Define and describe the analytic procedure to be used. Define the final acceptance verification criteria. Separate cleaning swabs, milk, wheat, soy, etc. and allergen swabbing verification shall be considered. Confirmation and compliance. Validate the analytical procedure used to verify and validate cleaning efficacy. Keep detailed records for cleaning, validation, and verification. Evaluate the allergen cleaning program periodically for effectiveness and compliance. Monitor and verify the allergen control plan frequently with internal and/or external audits. Next, we have the staff training and education. Ultimately, the effectiveness of the allergen control plan comes down to the people. Trained employees and managers are the greatest assets. Employees who do not only understand what to do, when to do it, how to do it, but more importantly, why it needs to be done to protect the company and the consumers who trust the products. Training is essential and is an ongoing commitment for both new and experienced employees. Provide general training on allergen awareness and control for all employees at all levels of the company. Provide specific documented training to employees as dictated by their job responsibilities. In all training, include information on the reasons protocols are required, potential consequences should the plan not be followed. Fifth, we have is the responsibility. The responsibility of the person is indicated. It covers what to perform to comply with procedure and policy. First, we have the allergen management team. The allergen management team consists of representatives from all appropriate departments. This includes, but is not limited to, manufacturing production team, control or the assurance team, labeling regulatory compliance (PCQI) team, research and development team, engineering team, sanitation team, food safety team. Next, we have this the product design, research and development. Allergen management begins with the new product concepts, research and development product prototypes, new ingredients, and new labels. The following are utilized by the team as a guide for product development and designs. Only add allergens to new products when they make discernible difference in the taste or functionality of the product. Question ingredient suppliers on the functionality and necessity of allergens in their formulation. Understand the existing allergens or lack of allergens in the manufacturing facilities when formulating new products. Create a process to review allergens in new product with the manufacturing facility before ordering ingredient and startup. Avoid using allergenic ingredients in such low amounts that they have no or minimal functional effect in the finished product and beyond. 8 we have is the reference documents. The reference documents are the sets of documents used to implement and monitor a program, policy, and procedure. And under reference documents, we have the allergen label, hazard analysis allergen, workplace, allergen blue tag, area location, ingredient register with allergen, allergen statement list, allergen list statement, Canadian requirements, gluten program, HACCP program, food safety plan program. Next is the reference. The reference section is composed of guides utilized to implement the program. Examples are the certification guide, regulations, and other widely accepted scientific journals, research, and the like. It must also comply with the standard format citation, which can be based on either MLA, APA, Chicago style, and update access date. And we have here the SQF Module 2 Edition 9, System Element for Food Manufacturing Section 2.8.1, Allergen Management. Next is the 21 CFR 117.80, Process and Controls, and the FDA Guidance for Industry of FAL CPA. Next, the FDA information about the allergens, FDA Guidance for Industry in labeling soy lecithin, USDA Guidance for Industry about food allergens, Food Allergy and Anaphylaxis Network, Food Allergy and Anaphylaxis Network Food Allergy Issues, Codex, Food Allergy Research and Research Program, Nutrition and Health Issues, Food Allergies and Intolerances, Nutrition and Health Issues, Food Allergies and Intolerances, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Prevention and Wellness. Lastly is we have the history. The history section is where we can update the program if there are any changes or revisions made in the document. If there is a revision, enter the revision number, the revision date, the description of change, the originator or the author name, and the title or the department of the author or the originator. Thank you for participating in this document review. Content presented are for training purposes only and are based on the interpretation of standards and best practices and must be customized for your intended use. To fully customize your programs, policies, procedures, forms for records, and lessons for training, you may contact Interlink IQ or Consultor Inc. at services@interlinkiq.com or simply call 202-982-3002. And for free access, you may visit interlinkiq.com.